Now we can learn about the ant. Ant is also called as another nice tool or another neat tool. So basically what we can do with the ant, what we can do with the ant. So basically ant is a build tool. Means what? Using the ant you can build your application. Using the ant you can build your application. So what do you mean of building an application? In the real time you will not just use the files and all, right? So you have to create an application that should be deployable, that should be deploy in the servers and start the servers and make it available to everyone. So in general, in the real-time applications, what exactly happens? So it's not just a plain Java programs. It's some web applications, some EJB applications. They have to create some deployable files. So they have to do many things. So for that they might want to create a specific folder structure. We will talk about that going forward. And compile all Java programs. Copy copy class files into specific folder. Creating the packages. As I told you, package is nothing but a jar, var or er. Deploying the package in the server. Deploying in the sense copying the package to the server, starting server, then access your application. So you have to do this many things to create or to run your application. And not only this, you have to do many other things. Always in the real time the source code is going to be stored in the SCM servers, that's called software configuration management servers. SCM servers means it can be CVS, Serversion, SVN, ClearCase, Git, many other SCM servers are available in the market. It can be anything, but your source code is going to be sit in the server. You have to pull it from the server SCM and you have to do all these activities. And depends on the size of the application, it might take 5 minutes, it might take 1 hour or 2 hours also. So doing these many steps manually is always not recommended, and you may commit the mistakes and it always waste of your time. So everything can be automated. All these set of actions, all these set of steps can be automated by using the build tool. Build is nothing but a building your application. To build your application you have to do set of things. That set of things can be automated by using the build tool, and one of the build tool we are going to learn now is Ant. That's called another neat or another nice tool. So Ant is something similar to batch files in the Windows and make files in the Linux, make command in the Linux. Not exactly the batch. I think batch we can ignore it. So batch, let's assume like a Windows JAWS command to automate scripts. But in the Linux there is a command called make. Using even make is also does something similar to this, but I don't know much about that make command, but there is a command in the Linux. But these are the operating system compatible ones, but Java is a platform independent programming language. You need a solution which should work across the different operating systems. That's where they came up with an approach. There's a tool was innovated from the Apache. Who created the Ant tool? Apache has created Ant tool. and it's open source. Anyone can use this. Anyone can manipulate it. Anyone can distribute along with their applications without having any paying the money to the Apache. It's an open source tool and which has been widely using across the Java industry for the building their applications. So what is the benefit I'm going to get by using the Ant tool? There are many benefits you'll get it. The first thing is Ant is completely developed in the Java programming language. So it is a platform independent, means Ant tool can work in the Windows, in the Linux, Solaris, Mac, or any other operating system. So means write Ant script one time and you can run in many places in many systems. Write once and run in many times. It's a funda like write once, run in different OS without bothering about underlying operating system. And moreover, this Ant is a very simple, easy to write, and moreover it's very powerful. It's very powerful. And usually this Ant follows modular structure. I'm going to talk about it going forward. And how do you write this Ant? Do we need to learn some specific programming language to write Ant script? Absolutely no. And Ant script is just an XML. We already learnt about the XML, how it looks like. So Ant is nothing but just an XML format. Just learning that you can pretty much write the Ant script. And moreover, it's like writing the Ant file one time and you can run anytime whenever you want on any operating system. It's like write once and execute many times. It's like writing once, you have to complete your Hazel very first time, but once you write the Ant script, you can run that as many times you want. And but only time there minor changes in the future going forward, depends on the need comes, you can manipulate that. Okay, so all these things you will be getting as a benefits. And when you are giving this, for example, you are having a project and some new candidate joined to your team, he want to learn how the application can build. He can go through the Ant script which was written part of the application, then he can understand that, because Ant is something like standard across the organizations. So a lot of applications has been using the Ant script. If you know the script, if you can understand the script, how it works, how it executes, then it's not very difficult to understand what are they doing part of the building their own application. Make sense? So now you have an Ant. So how to, now you know the benefits and what is that, and you want to know how to use that. So before going to use, you have to set up Ant in your machine. How do you set up the Ant? You can do in two ways. You can install the Ant in two ways. One, you can download the Ant binary distribution from the Apache site. If you want, go here, download Ant, and it will give you the location from which you can download the Ant binary files. Main distribution directory. From here you can download the Ant Binary, you can try to download the latest version of Ant Binary. Or else, if you don't want but download, already Eclipse comes with the inbuilt Ant script. And one more benefit I would like to tell you here is this Ant is pretty much integrated popular IDEs like Eclipse, IntelliJ, NetBeans, etc. So means you can pretty much run the Ant script from the Eclipse itself. So for example, go to the folder where you are having the Eclipse, and inside that you can go to the plugins and you can find a folder with the Ant. Here is the Arch Apache Ant. So you don't have to download as a mandatory. If you're already having Eclipse, Eclipse already comes with the Ant. If you want, you can use the same thing. I will use this folder structure rather than downloading my own Ant again, and I'm going to configure this part of the Ant. I have to set up the environment variable for the ant home and path. So we already know how to set up the environment variable. You can just right click on your My Computer, go to the properties and click on the advanced system settings and click on the environment variable. This is in case of Windows Vista, but in other operating systems also having the similar kind of flow. And you can click here as a new and say ant home and just specify this. And once you create it, you have to update the existing path environment variable at the end. Ant home /bin, save OK, OK and OK. So now your Ant setup has completed. And remember, in order to work with the Ant, you need to have a Java installed in your computer, otherwise Ant doesn't work. But how do you know Ant is working or not? It's very simple. Go to a command line, just run a command called Ant, and when you click enter button, oh, I have to restart new command. Just now I set the environment right. Okay, so let me run the command Ant, and when you're getting this message means Ant is working fine in your computer and build.xml does not exist, means Ant defaultly look for the build.xml file in the folder where you're running the Ant command. So if that doesn't find, so it will give you this message. If you want to know which version of Ant got installed in your machine, you can simply say Ant version. It will clearly tell you what version of Ant got installed in your computer. So means Ant is working fine in my computer now. It's very simple to set up. It's not really complex. So now what we have to understand. So the next thing you have to learn is how to write the Ant script. How to write Ant build script that's called XML. It's very simple. And not only that, Ant is pretty much extendable. Means if you want, you can increase the functionality of the Ant. I'm going to talk about this again going forward, but let's try to understand writing the Ant script. How to write the Ant script. As I told you, Ant script is in the form of XML tags. So when you say XML, we already knows you will be having a set of tags and one tag as a root parent, and it can have set of childrens, and the children can have children can have children. So that's how an XML structure looks like, right? You are right. So even in the build script also you will have a tag called project as a root tag. So basically this is in case of build.xml file. Usually the AND script writes inside a file called build.xml file, and which contains one root XML tag called project. So means it is project automation build. And the project contain the children tags, nothing but a targets. I'm going to talk about these targets also. So you can have one target or you can have more than one targets. So this is how exactly ANT script looks like. So if you want to learn about the ANT, certainly you should understand the project element, and the second is target element, and third is you have to understand ANT tasks. So these are the three important things, and apart from these three you have to understand few more things: how to specify the class path in the ANT, how to specify the properties in the ANT. So these are the few more other things you need to understand in order to fully understand the ANT script, or whether you want to understand existing ANT script or if you want to write your own, you can pretty much has to know these things. But trust me, it's not really complex. So let's start with our discussion with the root element called project element. So project is a root element in the ANT build script, and when you say project, so you need to say this is a root element of the ANT build file. It doesn't have any parent. Okay. It is having some of the important attributes like name attribute. You can specify name of the project. Why? Because if you are having more than one build.xml, you want to clearly distinguish each build.xml, you can give some easily understandable name for in the name attribute, and it will have default target, default attribute. You have to specify the name of the target to start execute first. So even though your application contains 10 classes, but one of that class contains the main method, means the class which contains the main method has to be start execute first, and that main method, inside that you might be using other classes. Means main method is the entry point of the execution, something similar to that. So what is the starting point of execution in the ANT? So that's called default. Whatever you specify in the default attribute, so that target will get execute first. I will show you the more details going forward, don't worry. And apart from that, you have one more important attribute called base dir. So it is telling about what is the base directory. So part of your application, sometimes you would like to create a folders, but if you want to create a folder, you have to pass the source folder where you want to create a folder structure. But to create a folder structure, you have to pass the parent folder. I cannot pass the parent folder something like this: C, work, Java basics. I cannot create a folder like this. Why? Why? Because this works only in the Windows, but in case of Linux it doesn't work, because Linux doesn't have a C drive. It starts with the slash as a home folder, right? So I cannot fully specify the folder paths like this. To avoid that, you need to use a relative paths. To avoid this, you need to use the relative path. So always when you say relative path, you have to tell with respect to some existing folder, this is my location. So let's assume C work is a relative folder. With respect to that, I would like to have Java Basics, and Java Basics you are talking about with respect to the C work folder. So here you need to treat C work as a base directory, and that you have to specify at the project element. And whatever folders you are talking, you are going to talk with respect to this base directory inside the build.xml. But again, you don't have to specify the C work in the base directory. By default, it assumes as a dot. As already know, dot is nothing but a current folder. Means in which folder build.xml contains, rather than say build.xml, and file contains, that folder acts like a base directory. So for example, if C work contain the build.xml file, then this is the C work is a base directory. You don't have to explicitly tell part of the base directory. It assumes that that is the default value. But if you want change, you can change it. So these are the three attributes you can specify at the project element. So project, when you write a project, so that's my root element of the project, and you can specify some unique name, some understandable name, then what is the target has to execute first, and what is the base directory. Am I clear? And besides this, you are going to have another important element called target element. So what is this? Ant script or Ant file contains at least one target, and it may have more. It may have more targets. So then you will get a question, what is this target? So whole Ant file contents are divided into a set of targets. Let's think this target is more like a modular. So that's where I told you Ant script is more modular structure. Means Ant divided into a part by parts, like target by target, and you can think of this like a more modules or functions or methods, let's say. And what exactly you want to do part of your Ant, that you have to write in the target. Anything you want to do the target, that you should write in the target element. Anything you want to do that you should write in the target element. So target elements also contains a set of attributes. Every target will have a name attribute which uniquely differentiate other targets. So you need to have a unique name for every target that uniquely identify that target from other targets. and it can have a description attribute. Description, you can explain what this target does. And when you're giving the name, try to give some meaningful names to the target, because by seeing the name of the target you should understand what exactly that target is doing. Please provide some meaningful names to target. For example, you can say creating the directory structure. You can say dir structure, for example, or you can say cleaning the existing directory structure, or you can say compile, you are compiling the Java program, or at least you can say package, creating the package structure. So anything, try to give some meaningful names. So whatever names you would like to, you can give, but give some meaningful names to the target so people can easily understand what exactly it is doing. And besides this, there is one more important target, one more important attribute called depends. So what it is? Specify one or more dependent targets. So if you want to execute one target, the target might be depends on other targets to be executed first, and those target names you have to specify as a dependencies in this target. And if you want to specify, so target, this is having the dependency B, and this name of the target is A, and you are having the target name B. So if you want to execute this target, first it should execute the B targets. This is not dependency, it depends. So first it will execute the B target, then only the A target will be executed, because A depends on the B, and if you want to execute the A, first B should be executed, then only A will be run. In this case, B executes first, then A will be executed. And if you want, you can specify one or more target as a depends with comma separated values. You can specify one or more targets as a depends with comma separated value. So here let me show you one simple AND script. This is having the project, the name of the project is my project, and default is a base directory dot. In this case, it contains target A, B, C, D, E. There are 5 different targets are there in this AND XML. If I ask you a question, which target will execute first? Sushil is asking question, what is a target? Sushil, as I told you, target is nothing but a part of the build XML where you are going to write some logic what it want to execute. And let's think it's like a part or a module, a function. Okay? And what target to be executed? And every target will have a unique names. And if you want, you can provide the description, and there's another attribute called depends. It tells you what are the other target to be executed first before executing this one. And if I ask a question, how do you know what is the default one? What is the very first executed target when I'm trying to run this build XML? Yes, it start execute from the default target which is specified the project elements.